set that on fire. Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to what was on sale at the grocery store today. And so today at the grocery store were these pork chops. Now I've already salted and peppered them. They're ready to go. They're already seasoned. What I'm going to do today is essentially what I did about a month ago with some chicken thighs. We're going to pan fry them, sear them quickly, just to get some color on them and in the pan. This is bacon fat, which I save. I save fat from pretty much everything that I cook. So we're just going to pan sear them, stick them on this tray, put them in the oven at 325, fan on today. And we'll finish the pork chops in the oven, and then we'll make a brandy cream sauce. When I did the chicken, I used white wine. Today we're going to use brandy. We're going to flambe. There'll be flames. It'll be great. Okay, the pan's almost hot. The fat has melted. And we'll get these chops in. Let's see. Can I get 3 in the pan? Oh, just barely. Regular rotation at my house growing up. My mom would do pork chops cooked to within an inch of their life. An absolute inch of their life in an electric frying pan. And then toss in a can of cream of mushroom soup and some milk. And then simmer the pork chops in that. I'm sure lots of you had a similar experience. I don't cook my pork chops quite as far. I prefer the pork chops to be thicker cut. My own preference. I don't cook them quite as far, but I kind of get the feeling that a lot of people have that you've got to cook it all the way through. And sometimes when they're on sale, you don't get a choice of how thick they are. These weren't too bad. Usually when I see pork chops on sale, they were cut by the new guy. Okay, I'm going to pull those out now. We've got a pretty good fond in the bottom of the pan, and these will brown up nicely in the oven on fan. And I moved the pork chops to a bigger pan and give them a little bit of space. So, check your oil. If you need more, put some in. If you need to take some out, take it out. And in goes a couple of chopped shallots. And about a pound of sliced mushrooms. And we'll cook that until the mushrooms give up most of their moisture and the shallots are translucent. We'll put a little bit of salt and pepper in there. Keep it rolling along. Don't rush this part. Don't rush it. It takes a while to get it right. If you get the temperature too high, you burn the onions, and it doesn't really add anything to the dish. Go a little bit slower, patient, and then keep an eye on the pork chops and have an instant read thermometer out and make sure that you get those to the right. The trick to this whole preparation is sort of bringing these together at the same time. You can do it. I know you can. It's just a matter of being in control of your heat. Okay, these are looking great. So, I'm going to glug in a little bit of brandy. And we'll set that on fire. Okay, I get it. Fire in your kitchen, not your thing. Cooking with brandy, not your thing. You don't have to do this. You could definitely do the wine version. Let me turn the lights back on. Definitely do the wine version like I did with the chicken. Just slightly different flavor between the brandy and the wine version. I'm comfortable doing this. If you're not, don't do it. But make sure that you are safe. Right here, fire extinguisher. There's also a fire blanket. There's the lid. I had the whole thing covered. I'm comfortable with that. But if you're not, that's fine. Don't do it. Just grab a bottle of white wine, pour that in, boil the white wine off until it's pretty much all gone, and then move on to the next steps. Okay, this is looking good. So now we're going to put in some chicken stock. And we'll get that fond off the bottom. You know what? I'm going to put in a little bit more chicken stock because I want a little bit more sauce. Okay, a bit more chicken. There we go. Scrape up the bottom. This is some rosemary. And I've got some 35% whipping cream. Now, we're just going to simmer that all together. So you just simmer this until it's kind of the thickness that you want. Definitely, this is a use case for Beurre Manié, which literally means beaten butter. I use it all the time. You go back on the channel all the time. Equal parts butter and flour by volume. You beat them together, you mash them together into a paste, and then you just drop the paste in a little bit at a time and stir it in, and it gives you a silky, smooth, thick sauce. I'm gonna leave it a little bit runny tonight. I'm liking that. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's get the chops out of the oven. Look at that. Those chops are cooked to your favorite temperature. Okay, now I'm going to plate these beautifully because, you know, that's important.
Hey, Glen.
Hey, Jules.
Hey, friends.
I give you deconstructed my mom's pork chops in mushroom sauce, except nothing like what my mom made.
I was gonna say not the cream of mushroom soup version.
No, there's nothing wrong with. I actually really love that.
Yeah, the issue is that I'm sure it's come up somewhere along the line. I don't actually like cream of mushroom soup. There's something about the combination of the two things, the mushrooms and the cream, that just yee.
But this is wonderful. Yeah, okay,
Yes,
so
get out of the way.
I put them on a platter to make the presentation nice, but let's move it over to a plate so we can actually eat it.
Taste it. All right,
Okay.
but I think it's go. There we go. I was gonna say I think it needs some sauce. I'll
Yeah.
get a knife.
A little bit more sauce on top.
Careful, moving through the kitchen with a knife.
Go ahead.
No, shall I? Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm gonna get some mushrooms from the pan.
Is there bacon in this one? You know, bacon and pork chops. What else?
There's bacon fat.
Okay.
I cooked them in bacon fat. Whatever oil works at your house, go right ahead.
We cooked everything in bacon fat because my grandfather didn't like butter.
That sauce is really good.
I know. I'm trying to get some mushrooms in my sample.
That sauce.
Which is funny because clearly it's not the cream and mushroom that I don't like about cream and mushroom soup. Because this is cream and mushroom. And it's very good.
You don't like that gloopy texture.
It might be it.
So there's a case to be made to, you know, pull your pork chops a little bit early
So they can sit.
and then simmer them in the sauce a little bit,
Ooh.
right? Instead of just smothering them with the sauce afterwards. That works perfectly well as well. And what we learned on the episode where I did this with chicken is that same day I cooked the chicken, I also made a mashed potato waffle that had cheddar cheese, bacon, and green onions in it. And that potato waffle with this sauce over top.
Actually went really well. Yeah,
Went
we
really-
toasted it and then just put it on top. It was really quite good.
And so inside the house are a couple of potato waffles in the toaster oven, getting toasted up, ready to go. This pork chop is going to go on top, smothered in the sauce. Makes a great meal. So potato waffles, not just for breakfast. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon. Thank you everyone for making it to the end of the video and for hanging on to watch this next bit. As in past years, in 2026, I will again be raising money for Hope Air. Hope Air is a charity here in Canada that connects people in need of medical care or medical treatments with transportation to get from where they live to where the treatment is available. In Canada, healthcare is universal. Healthcare is freely given to anyone who steps up and says, I need treatment or I need care. The problem exists in the way, the sheer size of Canada's geography and the way our population is distributed. There are some people who live in areas that are underserved by healthcare, and they need to travel to the larger centers, be it Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto, Winnipeg, Montreal, Halifax, or St. John's. There are people who live in Canada's north or in more remote areas where getting to one of those centers to get treatment, be it cancer treatment or ongoing operations for some other health concern, getting to those centers is incredibly difficult, incredibly stressful, especially if it's a child that needs this health care. There are places in Canada where you could be driving 10 or 12 hours to access the treatments that you need. There are places in Canada where there is no road access. You may live in a town that is fly-in only. So what Hope Air does is utilize private pilots like myself who volunteer their time to fly to some of these locations, pick up people, and bring them to the treatment that they need. Or at least bring them to a larger center where they can get on a commercial flight, again, provided by Hope Air, to the city where the treatment is available. And for parents who are bringing their children for this type of healthcare, Hope Air also has partnerships with hotels where they can provide hotel stays for the parents during this, stressful time. For those of us that live in the big cities in Canada, this is something that we don't really think about. But there was a time where Julie and I lived in Northern Ontario, and we lived in towns and villages where, it was 3 hours just to drive to get to a grocery store, let alone drive somewhere where complex medical care could be given. And we were very cognizant of that when we lived there. I'm in the incredibly fortunate position that I can make a change, that you can help make a change. Last year, my viewers, you, donated $40,000 to Hope Air. That's an incredible amount of money. That really changed lives. That helped a lot of people. And I'm so thankful to you that you would open up and do that. It's absolutely incredible. And so for 2026, I'm hoping that we can do that again. In August of 2026, I will again be participating in Give Hope Wings, which is where a bunch of pilots like myself, we go out and we fly around and we raise awareness and we raise money and we sort of put a spotlight on the fact that this charity exists and this need exists and this gap needs to be filled. And so this summer we're going to the East Coast. Some of the highlights are Halifax, St. John's, Newfoundland, Goose Bay, Labrador. Then we're on to Rimouski and Trois-Rivières and ending up again in Sudbury. So I hope you'll come along with me over on the Flying Channel on that trip. Julie and I will be making it this year, and hopefully you will enjoy coming along with us. And if you can donate money to Hope Air, I thank you very much. I also understand that if you don't live in Canada, you may not feel a connection to this. I would hope that you you could find something in your community that you could help out with. I think that we really need to be a community of people that help each other. That's the only way through this, is to help each other and to give of our time to those that need it. So I thank you very much. So I will put all the links for Hope Air and everything they do in the description box below. Please check them out. And I thank you in advance for however you can help.